Welcome to Center Hice Production. This is the Steel Curtain episode for the Pittsburgh Steelers game yesterday against the incoming Ravens, which was a nice divisional game, which is always comes out to be a classic game, which I thought we'd probably get destroyed. However, anyway, first of all, if you could please hit the likes, subscribe in the bottom. We'd muchly appreciate it. Let's get 100, 150 views, and subscriptions would be nice to help the channel grow. I'd appreciate that very much. Okay, let's get to it. This was again. We're just going to go. We're in week 5. We'll talk about the game, then I'll tell you my opinions. Okay, so the game ends up being 17-10 for the Steelers. Shocking. So it became quite a battle. I mean, the Ravens came out at us right away with a touchdown, 7-0. So it looked like the writing was on the wall. The end for the Steelers immediately. So it didn't look like we were going to be able to stop them the way it was going. But it only ended up being 7-0 after the first quarter. We went into the second quarter, and we each got a field goal. Thank God for Chris Boswell. And so at least we got on the board. We were down after the first half, 10-3. Again, it looked like the writing was on the wall. Then we get into the third quarter and nothing happens. So you kind of this is just going to be one of those low-scoring games. Going to pretty much end it the way it began. But we get into the fourth quarter and the Steelers come to life with 2 touchdowns of their own. And that was nice to see. It was like, especially that pass to Pickens, which sealed the deal from Pickett. A nice 41-yard pass, beautiful bomb, and the separation that George Pickens gets there is just horrendous. You knew the writing was on the wall. That was great to see, and so great to see. And the Steelers managed to hang on. And once again, T.J. Watt. It's just weekly with T.J. Watt doing his thing and just putting on that pressure, stripping a ball early on. Because again, you look at the positives, and that's Watt stripping the ball and recovering the ball, a turnover by the Ravens, and great job by Watt. Always seems to be a spark plug for us. Thank God for him, because he really is the engine that runs that defense. There's no doubt about it. Him and Micah, the two of them, it's a combination. And good to see. And what a blessing, spotting, Porter Jr. Just beautiful to see this kid. This kid's going to be something. He's like Dad, Joey Porter Jr., and just wonderful to see the interception he makes on Jackson. And this is my knock against Jackson. I've said that. Jackson's a great threat on his feet of getting that ball down there. And yes, he's got a good team of running backs. And so, they're always a threat that way. His passing game is where the question marks always come in for Jackson. His consistency of keeping 2 feet down seems to be issue, and placement of the ball. So I've always seen that to being the downside to Jackson. I think and I'll still stand by it, I think he would be a better running back than he is a quarterback. So tons of talent. I just think the accuracy is a problem. Now, unless that can change, it's not the easiest thing to have change. Usually at this point, as long as he's now been in the league, it's a hard thing to change. That comes up as years go by, as the way you're seasoned as a youngster going into the college program, coming out of the college program. So you usually are who you are. And thankfully for us, that's a great piece of the puzzle for us being able to deal with them. Hard to contain, yes, but Steelers somehow, and this Steelers team again, I thought for sure. I mean, after getting trounced by the Texans the week before, I don't understand this club. I am so baffled by the Pittsburgh Steelers that It's really shocking that so far it's coming down to the Steelers and the Ravens once again being running head to head, which is really surprising in my books. Again, I still say the Browns at the end of this season will be the number one team. However, the Ravens have got quite a team too. They could give the Browns a go. I will still say the Steelers will be in fourth place. Although I don't know what's going on with Cincy. That's hard to, maybe there's just not. I think, when I look at Cincy, there are still missing pieces. A few more, a little bit more talent on the receiving core could probably help Cincy. However, Burrows is a smart quarterback, and if he's healthy, that's where I see he gets the edge on us. However, what I did like to see is the resiliency of Kenny Pickett. It's great what he's showing us for this kid because this team has problems. Kid yourself not. There's problems kind of all over the place on the Pittsburgh Steelers right as we look at the squad. That's why I say they have to accept they're in a rebuild, and that's the bottom dollar. You might have some pieces in place, so it might not take that much longer, but maybe a year or two more of your rebuild. However, I think the kid's doing great under the circumstances. However, I think we still got a lot of work to do on our line. I think we got a lot of work to do, and I'll stand by that in that middle line backing crew. And if we can focus on those two areas, and I still say, keep your eye open for a wide receiver if you get the chance, because I don't believe Dante Johnson is the guy that should be number one wide receiver target. I think Pickett's actually really earns that now, and then maybe you look for a number two. But for me, Dante, I'm sorry, been in the league long enough that Dante just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. There's been the great thing we got to see in this was it seemed to be the drop passes we've seen over the last few years that Dante would drop. It seemed like the Ravens had that issue with their receiving crew in this game. So glad somebody else has that problem. Nice to see for a change now. Maybe they're realizing they have some work to do. But you look at T.J. Watt, and this guy makes things happen. Um, and that Porter Jr. is going to be, he's reminding me, he's going to be a definitely um, an impact player as time goes. He's learning well just as a youngster. It's great to see that the pedigree doesn't leave from that family. Good pedigree. His dad was a class act, and it looks like he's going to turn into one. So good future prospects. It looks great, and Boswell. We know that's the continuing story, and once again Warren is just so exceptional running that ball, and always seems to have two hands on the ball and just steamrolls. However, their numbers did look better. They had time possession of the ball more than us, the Ravens, which should have bouted in their favor. However, you had Pickett was protected enough that no interceptions, that type of nature. So again, we come out on top in that area, and that's probably what our defense, I'll say, this week comes out on top, and that's good. But seems like I get concerned because we seem to still have issues. We're like 1-2 punch. And if you're going to have to get past two touchdowns, it seems like that's when we run out of gas. And that's got to change. And that, to me, I'm sorry to say it, that's a Matt Canada problem. And I will stand by that Matt Canada needs to be moved on because he's limiting what that offense can do. And I'm convinced of that 100%. I think we got a great pile of pieces in this, but really, again, this is the Pickens show. Wasn't a whole lot, but that's what you see in the end of this game. And again, Watt making things happen, and Porter coming up big. That's pretty much how this game goes, and it was a good game. Go Steelers Nation, go! I'm impressed with the victory. However, we have such an uh, inconsistent club that I can't call where this, and I'm not going to stack my faith into them because I think they're a team on the rebuild. I don't care what they try to put out as a picture out there. I don't buy it. I don't buy that you're a team that's in championship mode yet. You got a little ways to go. There are too many great teams in the NFL that are ahead of you. You're coming, but you got a long ways to go. That line has a lot more work needed to it, and we got to start getting some half decent middle linebackers in our draft system, and maybe one more wide receiver, I think, and then we might be talking business. But great, it's a great to see them rebound and respond to their loss last week. But is this going to be the type of season where it's a win loss, win loss? You just can't keep doing that. And games that are like the Texans, you have to capitalize and win those games, or they come back to haunt you. But so far, we're doing good in our own division. That's 2-0 there in our division, and that's good to see. But I wouldn't get overexcited yet. Steelers fans, long season, so it's only 5 weeks gone. With plenty more football to be played, another 12 weeks at least, 12 or 13. Anyway, that's a long ways to go, and a lot's going to happen, and we'll see how it goes. And I'd say stand pat and watch the season go, and don't get over anxious because this team is by far no steel curtain yet. Uh, doesn't have they're not at that point of you know the experience matching the combinations. We're getting some combination, but we got to get that line. Really, that has to be adjusted. At least when we had offensive threats when Ben was there and Terry was there, we had a great line. So we got to get that back rebuilt before we can even assume anything. Now we managed to keep up pretty good numbers. They seem to be edging us, in both passing and running. However, we were good enough that we didn't turn over the ball like they did, which shows you that counts and haunts the team in the game. So great job, Steelers. And I got to commend the defensive coaching there, and I got to commend Kenny Pickett, and did made some decisions. But I sure hope with time, if Matt Canada could ever get his act together. Mind you, I'm still hoping for somebody who's qualified for the position to take that, because they got enough talent there that they can do a lot more damage than they're doing. So, with that being said, thank you for watching the Steel Curtain episode, and Steelers Nation, go Steelers, go. Let's hope that we're all right week 6. Shall see, and I will be with you in the next review. All right, thank you for watching. Please hit the likes and subscribe at the bottom. Tell your friends, pass the word on. And really, I could use the subscriptions to grow this channel and move forward positively. And we'll keep talking. Leave your comments though on what you think you saw out there, and the positive, negatives. That's what it's all about. All right, thank you for watching, and until next time, from the Steel Curtain section, hopefully we'll get to that point to actually live up to being the Steel Curtain. God bless.